If you want to be successful in crypto, you need to use a crypto exchange that you can trust. That's because other exchanges have frozen or even stolen users' funds just over the last few years. But now, after personally testing and diving into dozens of crypto exchanges, I only use Kraken Pro. In this video, I'm going to show you why I think Kraken Pro is the most trusted crypto exchange on earth. I'll walk you through exactly how to set up your Kraken account like a professional trader with bulletproof security. And I'll dive into the core features of the Kraken platform that you need to know about. If you stick with me until the very end of this video, you will never again get ripped off by excessively high trading fees or risk having your funds stolen by some shady exchange. My name is Vic. I've been in the crypto trenches since 2020. I've worked with brands like Kraken, Exodus, and over 100 more. But before we get into this, I need to tell you that the information in this video is for educational purposes only, and nothing I say is financial advice. My goal with this video is to teach you the mechanics of this platform, not make any investment recommendations. Also, I am a Kraken partner, so when you use my affiliate link below, I may get a small commission on trading, which just supports my channel at no cost to you. In fact, if you're watching this video within 1 month of its release, Kraken is having a huge promotion for new users who sign up with my link. From February 10th to March 9th, 2026, Kraken is offering a 3% deposit match on all eligible deposits, meaning that if you qualify and you deposit $10,000 onto Kraken, they will add $300 to your account. Just make sure that you read all of the details to make sure that your deposits are eligible. If it's past March 9th by the time you're seeing this, there most likely will be some other promotion running with my link. So jump down to the description, get signed up using my Kraken link, or just click the button right here in the corner of the video. So you're probably wondering, why Kraken? Why is it that I think they are the most trusted exchange on earth? Well, let's just take a look at their history. Kraken's been around since 2011, and in that time, they have had 0 hacks. They have a solid track record of actually protecting user assets. In fact, Forbes itself ranks Kraken a 5 out of 5, the most trusted crypto exchange on the planet. This is Forbes talking. Kraken also has a public page showing audited proof of reserves that you can check at any point in time. And you can dive into this page yourself just to verify things and see exactly how proof of reserves works and why it's authentic. But for me, after watching the collapse of multiple crypto exchanges in the last bear market, I've been very hesitant to partner with any exchange. I've actually turned a ton of them down, and Kraken has always been #1 at the top of my list. I mean, even some of the other big exchanges in the space are just notorious for freezing users' funds or doing shady things. Kraken, on the other hand, has a very clean reputation. If you watch my tutorials on other crypto software, you know that I just like to dive into the most important things right away. So the entire sign up sequence and security setup will be later on in this video. So there's actually multiple platforms within your Kraken account, and they are all accessible to you once you're a verified user. You simply just come up to the top corner right here. You have access to Kraken, Kraken Pro, and Kraken Desktop. I'm only going to be focusing on Kraken Pro. Kraken Pro is a little more of a sophisticated platform with better tools, and you're also going to get much better fees than using Kraken. The fees I will explain later in this video as well. And one of the nicest features on Kraken Pro is actually the Markets tab, which I'm going to head over to first. Now, the Markets tab is going to give us a full snapshot of the entire market. So first off, on the left-hand side, I have this chart view showing the price action of all of these different sectors overlaid, which gives me really good insight. How is privacy doing versus meme coins or utilities? And these are specifically cryptos that are on the Kraken platform. If I come over to the right-hand side right here, I have more of a heat map view for these sectors, which shows me the different change percentage in the time frame that I have selected. So I can see that DeFi is up 2% overall as a category. And then at the bottom here, we have all of the different pairs. I can sort by the newest tokens. I can sort by the top gainers on the day as well. And I'll get some data on this side that shows the percentage change on the day, giving you a substitute for something that I would say CoinMarketCap solves for, a broad snapshot of just what's going on right now. Next, I'm going to move over to the Analytics tab. So up at the top, I can switch which pair I'm looking at. So right now I have Bitcoin selected. I'll go down to Solana and I can see the price action, margin, the trading volume, the order book imbalances. I have 6 different indicators here that I can just use to gather data on a specific asset. So now I'm going to go over to where the magic happens on Kraken Pro, and that is the trade tab. Now, this trade tab is going to vary based on where you live. For me, I live in Canada, so I don't have access to margin or futures. If you're in the United States, it'll look a little different. If you're in another part of the world, it's most likely going to look very different because you might have access to those tools. So what I'm going to be focusing on here is the layout design because it's very customizable, and just some of the spot trading tools that Kraken offers, because that's actually how you buy and sell crypto. So right here, I have the Solana to USD trading pair. I'm just going to switch it to Sol CAD, which is Solana Canadian. I can actually favorite this as well if I'm going to be trading with it quite a bit. And I can go over to the favorites tab just to access it quickly. And in here, you can also access the hottest trading pairs, what's new, what actually falls in the earn tab. This is just basically where you're going to choose what you're going to trade. And like I mentioned, Kraken has a very advanced dashboard that I can customize quite a bit. I don't know what your dashboard currently looks like, but there's a button beside deposit on the left that says which template you're using. I'm just going to click on that and I'm going to go to create new layout. Now this will allow me to use a template and build off of that template. Right now I'm using the advanced template, which I recommend you start with. This is going to give you the most amount of tools without it being too cluttered. But if we did want to choose something like terminal or analytics, we could actually get a lot more out of the box, but I'll show you how to add custom widgets as well. So once you've selected the advanced template to start, we can click on this add widget button and we're going to get this little dialog box that comes up. And now I can actually just take these modules and drag them onto my dashboard. So let's say that I want order book analytics. I can take it, I can drag it maybe right here. And now I have access to this order book imbalance module right on my Kraken Pro trading dashboard. I'm just going to slide myself down here out of the way. And you can see that, I can really start moving things around. If I want to take this tab and drag it down here, I can do that just like that, just by grabbing the name of the tab and dragging it somewhere else. But I would say the most important ones are going to be this market chart. Obviously it has the chart of the asset, which I have pretty small right now, and the order form. So right here, I have the order form already on the side of my dashboard. And this is where we're going to actually make spot trades. So the difference between a spot trade and a margins or a future trade is with margins and futures, you are trading contracts, where with spot, you're actually purchasing the cryptocurrency directly from Kraken, which is what buying and selling crypto is all about. Most of what I do personally is spot. It's just simpler. You don't get liquidated, and there are regional restrictions usually on margins and futures. So let's say you've already done a deposit onto Kraken and you have money there and you're wondering exactly how to use this order form module to trade spot. It's actually extremely simple. So right here we have buy or sell. Obviously, if we're buying or we're selling crypto, this is how we're going to do it. I would make sure, however, that the currency you're using is with the pair that you have. So if you're in the United States and you deposited USD and you want to buy Solana, this Sol USD pair is the one you want. But like I mentioned, I'm in Canada, so I want Sol to CAD because I want the pair that has the currency I'm working with, which is Canadian dollars, to buy Solana. So I'll switch to Sol CAD, and I'm going to be buying. I'm not going to be selling. If I had Solana in my wallet on Kraken, I could go to sell and I could offload it. I could off ramp it. But right now, I'm actually going to buy it. Then we go over to the market tab right here. When I click this, I have a bunch of different options. I have market, which means that I'm going to buy it immediately just at whatever the price of Solana is right now. The market is giving me that price. I'm fine with it. I just want it. If I select limit, however, a limit order is when I set the price that I want to pay, and I wait for that asset to reach that price in order for my purchase to trigger. So right now, Solana is trading at 117, and let's say, you know what, I want it to be 115, and that's the price I'm good with paying. That's where a limit order would come in. There is a ton of different order types that you can use here. You can just click this learn more button, and this dialog box will pop up where you can go in and you can see like, okay, what is an iceberg order? And it's going to give you all of the details with a nice diagram just to really make sure that you understand the type of order that you're placing. For me, 99% of the time, I'm just going to make a market order. I'm just going to buy whatever the price is at that time because the fluctuation of a few cents or a few dollars really isn't that big of a deal to me personally. I know other traders would disagree, but I play a longer game. If I did have money in my account and I wanted to buy $1,000 worth of Solana, I would come over to the CAD side of the pair. So this is the pair here. I could either choose, like I want 10 Sol or I want $1,000 worth of Solana, or I can use this slider bar based off of my balance. So let's say I want to spend half of what I have in my balance, but I'll set it to $1,000 Canadian. I could also choose if I want to have a stop loss triggered, which is basically a preset for me to sell at a certain price. If the price goes down, a take profit is the same idea. It's a preset to sell, but if the price goes up, you can set those right here. I'm just going to turn it off. I don't want that. And then I would place the trade right here if I had the assets in my account. It's also going to tell me the estimated trading fee right here, which we'll go over in detail, the trading fees and how they work. I'm spending $4 to buy $1,000 worth of Solana. So that's the trade tab. I feel like that's where most of the magic actually happens. And that's where you're probably going to spend the most of your time on Kraken. So play around with the different templates, set it up in a way where you're comfortable and you have the modules that you want to see. And I didn't really dive too deep into the amount of modules here, but there are a ton. And again, you can just drag and drop wherever you want and just really customize this whole layout. So once you're familiar with the trade tab, let's go over to the earn tab because this is where things get pretty interesting. So in the main menu here, I'll go down to the earn button. And on this earn page, I'm going to be able to see which assets I can actually earn interest by staking. Now, important note to make, most US users won't have access to the earn tab. I'm in Canada, so I actually have limited access to some of the earn features. And in other parts of the world, there are different rules and regulations around staking and earning interest on your crypto. But if you do have access to the earn tab, there are a ton of cryptocurrencies, including Solana itself, that you can buy on Kraken, and then you can stake on Kraken to earn estimated amounts of interest. How this works is you are providing your crypto for liquidity in a liquidity pool. And then when trading occurs, you actually earn some of the fees for providing liquidity. That's how staking or even yield farming works in crypto. And every staking protocol is going to be different on the functionality or the type of blockchain that it uses, but that's basically it for the most part. In fact, Kraken actually has a really cool setting where once you deposit your funds into Kraken, you can have it turned on where it will just auto stake for you and you don't even have to go and stake it, which I'll show you how to set up just here in a bit. The last few tabs here are pretty basic. There's a portfolio view, which just will show you what's in your crypto portfolio. I don't have anything in my portfolio right now, so there's not a lot here. There is a history tab, which will just show you the different transactions you've done. I'm not going to show you mine. But then there's this last tab, OTC, which is very interesting for high net worth individuals in particular. If I go to the OTC tab, it's going to talk about white glove services for large traders. These are high net worth individuals, someone who wants to buy $100,000 worth of crypto or $1 million worth of crypto at a time and doesn't want to do it just on the dashboard because the fees are just not in proportionate. It doesn't make sense. They typically use OTC or over the counter services is what it's called. And Kraken actually has its own platform for that. If you're a high net worth individual and want to load up your bags, because prices right now currently are pretty low, this is a great way to do it safely. So now that we've dived into the mechanics of the actual Kraken Pro platform and we've got all of the heavy lifting out of the way, how do we get set up? How do we secure our account? And what are the fee structures on Kraken Pro? So when you're ready to get started and sign up to Kraken, you can click the link in the description below and you can go ahead and start making your account. You'll just put your email address right here and then you'll go through very standard onboarding. I would have your ID or your driver's license or your passport or some sort of personal identification handy with you because in order to verify your account, you will need to do a KYC process, also known as a know your customer process. This is regulation. They have to do it. And if you go to any other crypto exchange that has any trust at all, they're also going to do it. All in all, verification should only take you a few minutes. And then once you are in the platform, I would jump right over to the top right-hand corner under user settings and go down to settings. Now I'm just going to use my own self to hide my personal information here, but On this front page, you'll see all your account details, your username, your public ID, which you might need for any Kraken support that you end up getting, which email you're using, all of that good stuff. Right here is also the auto earn button that I mentioned before. So if you have this turned on and you buy Solana, for example, it'll just auto stake your Solana for you. You can turn this off if you don't want to use it, but personally, I just have it on. Why not? So then I'm going to go over to the security tab up at the top, and this is also going to show you your username. You can edit your username. You can change your password. You can also set your sign in to a Google account or an Apple account if you find that more easy. I have mine as email. It's just easier for me to manage my passwords. And then down below is where it gets very important. So sign in with two-factor authentication. This is a must do. I recommend getting a Google Authenticator app on your phone if you don't have one already, and setting up the Google Authenticator to be your primary two-factor authentication. You can also set up passkeys as well. I don't have one on this account, but I have one on my other business Kraken account. And this is just another layer of two-factor authentication. Now we're going to get into the advanced security features, which I haven't seen a lot of these on any other crypto exchange that I've tested. Starting out with the master key, which is an account recovery key that you can generate and store offline. If you ever lose your password or you don't have access to your two-factor authentication, like you lose access to your Google Authenticator, you can use this master key to still access your account. Then we have a funding two-factor authentication. This makes it so you have to use two-factor authentication when you withdraw funds from your account. I highly recommend turning this one on. Trading two-factor authentication is the same idea, but anytime you make a trade, if you put an order through, you have to do two-factor authentication. I mean, depending on your trade frequency, this could start to be annoying, but if you're not a very active trader and you're a more long-term holder, this is probably something you also want to turn on. You can turn on end-to-end encryption on emails, which is pretty standard, but this last feature here, global settings lock, this one is super unique. So essentially how global settings lock works is once your account is set up, you can put a lock on your settings. So your two-factor, your password, your email, all that stuff just can't be changed for a certain period of time. So if you know that you got hacked on your email and you're scrambling and you're worried that your Kraken account is also going to be compromised and they're going to change your credentials, you can come over here, activate the global settings lock, and those hackers can't change anything, and you just don't have to worry about Kraken being something that they compromise in that time period until you get everything else figured out. So now that we've gone over all of the most important settings on the back end of Kraken and your Kraken account is fully set up, you're fully equipped, let's talk about fees, because fees might just be one of the most important reasons why you would go with a certain exchange versus another exchange if you're doing big orders and doing orders all the time. On a lot of basic interfaces, like even basic Kraken, you're going to pay a higher fee just for the simplicity of it. But with Kraken Pro, they've reduced the fees significantly, and you can actually see it right on their fees page. So if you go under Kraken instant buy and sell, you can see that Kraken charges a fixed 1% trading fee. But if I come down to Kraken Pro, I can see that the fees are structured in a much better way. First off, it depends on how much you are actually trading. So the more you trade, the lower fees you pay. Now, not only that, but depending on what type of trade you're making, you're going to pay a different fee. So there are two types of fees that you can pay: the maker fee or the taker fee. So the maker pays less of a fee because a maker is actually adding liquidity to the liquidity pool. This is typically done through a limit order. We talked about limit orders on the spot side just a little bit, but the reason you pay less is because you're actually contributing your liquidity to the liquidity pool for a certain period of time without getting anything in return until your limit order hits. The taker side, on the other hand, pays more of a fee. This is going to be with a market buy. The reason it's called a taker is because you're making that trade right away. So that makes you a taker from the liquidity pool rather than a maker in the liquidity pool, and you're actually going to pay a little more in fees. Now, that's not the only type of fee that you're going to pay on a crypto exchange. You usually have to pay some sort of withdrawal or deposit fee, depending on the type of payment method that you're using to on-ramp or off-ramp your crypto. So on this page, we can see the overview of all fees on Kraken. If I go to funding fees, I can actually go into the details for deposit fees and withdrawal fees. So for withdrawal fees, you're actually paying for the crypto to migrate from the exchange onto the actual blockchain. So it's going to be dependent on the blockchain itself. I'm a big Solana user, so I already have Solana clicked here. And basically the withdrawal fee is going to be 0.005 Sol, and there will be a withdrawal minimum of 0.011 Sol. So you need to anticipate that little tiny fee to actually move your Sol onto the blockchain. And depending on your deposit method, how you actually move money on to Kraken, it'll actually be dependent on whether you're sending cash or crypto. So for crypto, again, it's based on blockchain, just like the withdrawal. But for cash, it's different. It depends on the currency that you're using. It also then depends on the deposit method. So for me, I'm in Canada, I'm using the CAD, and I'm using e-transfer. E-transfer is very, very common here. And you can see Canadian only e-transfer, $5 a minimum, and it's completely free. There's no deposit time. So it's really good to also go through this page and understand all of the fees that you are going to be paying, how you're getting money onto Kraken, what type of fees you're going to pay to take money off of Kraken, how you're going to trade, whether you're going to do a limit order or market order, and just, minimize your fees as much as you possibly can, because you don't just want to waste money when you're trading. So now that we got that completely out of the way and we understand our fees and we want to bring some money onto Kraken, we're going to come up to deposit, and I'm going to deposit cash. I'm going to deposit Canadian dollar. For you, it might be different. And like I said, Interact e-transfer is the most common cash deposit method for Canadians. So I would be choosing this. And you can see the fees are actually right under here as well when you're doing the actual deposit onto Kraken with your cash method. Some places will have bill pay, some places will have credit card. It's all going to be dependent on where you are. So we can also just send crypto as a deposit. So let's say I have Solana and I want to bring it on because I want to sell it. We would do that like this. We would just find our wallet address right here, this QR code, or we just copy the address and we send the Solana here. So let's say I've deposited money, I've gone over to trade, I've made my trade. So I now have Solana on my account, and let's say I want to transfer it off of the platform and I want to go use it somewhere else. I want to bring it to another wallet. Well, very easily, I would click withdrawal. I would choose Solana if I'm withdrawing Solana. And then I would just import the wallet address of that Solana wallet I'm sending to right here. And I would create a nickname. Kraken is then going to ask me to verify that this is actually a wallet that I want to use and withdraw to through an email. So I'll have to do some two-factor stuff here to just verify it. And then I can actually send Solana from Kraken to that wallet whenever I want. The same thing goes for the cash side. If I sell a bunch of crypto and I want to cash out with Canadian dollars, I can do e-transfer, and you can see the fees are different. There's a $10 fee and a $15 minimum, or I can do wire transfer in Canada. And as I mentioned a few times, depending on where you live, it's going to be a little bit different. So I will provide all of the fee links that I went over so you can just deep dive into that down below. I hope that this was a comprehensive overview of the Kraken platform, why I choose Kraken over every other exchange, how to calculate and understand the fees, and how to use every single tool on the Kraken Pro platform. I have a completely free Telegram channel and chat that I post in every single day. We talk about crypto news, trending topics in the space. I also do giveaways with brand new YouTube videos, and anytime I go live on Kick, I post there. We also have a group chat with over 12,000 people in it, where you can just join a community and meet people in the space. So if you want to join my free Telegram community, click the link down below in the description. Just be cautious and skeptical of any scammer DMing you on Telegram. I will never DM you on Telegram, and neither will any of my mods. So I hope you got some value from this video. Shout out to Kraken for partnering with me. The sign up to Kraken is down below in the description, and I would definitely get in as soon as possible so you can take advantage of that promotion period. I'm trying to build the #1 how-to crypto channel on all of YouTube. If you want to join me on that journey, definitely subscribe and smash the notification bell. My name is Vic. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay safe in the trenches.